Welcome. You're watching Editor's Take on Money Control. I'm Sakshi Batra, and with me is Gaurav Chaudhary. He's the Deputy Executive Editor of Money Control, and we are here to discuss about the GST collections for the month of December. Thanks a lot, Gaurav, for joining in. Well, this time around in December, we've seen that the GST collections have crossed 1 lakh crore rupee mark, which, if you compare with the last year, is a good jump because there's a 9% jump. There was a 95,000 crore rupee collection in the month of December in 2018. So, how do you see this improvement this time around, and especially consecutively in two months in a row we've seen this?
So this is the second successive month of GST collections where collections have crossed the 1 lakh crore target, 1 lakh crore figure level, which probably will exude a lot of hope and optimism for the government. It has come slightly low, marginally lower than what the collections were in November. In November, the collections were 1.034 lakh crore, and now it is in December it's 1.03 lakh crore. This has come at a time when there is a slowdown in sales. The consumption sales are not picking up, so that makes it even more. The situation even more bullish and optimistic because it's a sign of greater compliance, and which the government would be hoping that once sales pick on consumption spending picks up, it's going to only gather pace. That's a positive sign. The bad thing, however, here is, or the problematic thing, however, here is the government is still very short of the budgeted targets. Between December to March, the government had internally set a revenue collection target of 1.1 lakh crore per month on an average.
So it still is short of that.
It still is short of that, and so from Jan to March, the run rate has to get even faster. That could be a bit of a stiff challenge. In fact, at some point, probably in March, if the targets are not met, the government may have to look at a revenue monthly GST tax collection level of about 1.25 lakh crore. That may not be easily achievable. But having said that, two successive months of over 1 lakh crore of GST collection is definitely a positive sign.
Right. Do you actually expect this 1 lakh crore rupee figure to actually sustain in the coming months as well now?
That is what we have been given to understand. It's going to sustain because there is a possibility of some degree of pickup taking place in consumption sales, consumer goods sales. If that takes place between Jan to March, that is only going to help GST collections. That coupled with greater compliance, the government would be hoping that it should push to around 1.1 lakh crore by the time the fiscal year ends in March. That should be a good run rate to close the year with, although it might still fall short of the budgeted targets, not because of poorer compliance or not because of inefficiencies in the system, but purely because the economy is going through a serious consumption slowdown.
Absolutely. And lastly, would you also tell me about, there have been still concerns around GST. First of all, the delays in the payment to the states. That has been a big concern from the state's point of view. There has been a delay in the repayments or, so these things, do you think there is an improvement in this kind of a situation as well?
So the center has said that it's going to quickly release the pending dues to the states, both compensation and whatever dues are lying with the center that has to be paid, to outstanding dues that has to be paid to the states. That has been one big bone of contention between the states and the center. The government would like us believe that this is now behind us, in the sense that that issue has been sorted. But some states still say that they are still awaiting complete clearance of pending dues, and it is affecting their fiscal position. I would assume that this will get sorted out quite soon. But the thing here to watch out for is, when does the government actually start raising GST rates? Because that is something that is going to be, one, it's going to be politically sensitive, and two, it's going to be inflationary. So when is the time when the center actually proposes or agrees to a spike in GST tax rates? That is something that is going to probably mark a point of inflection in India's GST processes.
All right. Thanks a lot then, Gaurav, for sharing all that insight. Well, definitely there is an improvement in the monthly collections of the GST when you see the November and December collections, and there is a higher hope of bettering these numbers in the coming months as well. But there is still speculation about whether the government will be able to meet the annual target which it has budgeted for the GST collections. Thanks a lot for joining us in this edition of Editor's Take, and do stay logged on to moneycontrol.com for more news and updates. Thanks for watching.